Hello everybody, it's Aaron. Welcome to another episode of SolitaryCraft. I kind of cleaned up the room here around the laser drill. Both of the boilers are at max heat, and we did get 18 engines on each of them. Any more than that and none of the engines get as much steam as they need. The thing counts up pretty quickly. I haven't done anything with the ore yet. But we'll get to that later. That's not that big of a deal. I went ahead and moved the assembly table. I wanted to set it up where it needs to go, or, in a location, a permanent place. What I had to do was, there is a gate on the bottom of this on a structure pipe. And it's visible from down here. I forgot to cover that up. I think a facade will do that. What I had to do to run the redstone signal to the energy cell was use the Ender IO redstone stuff, redstone conduit, and facades. So I had to get out my Ender IO machines temporarily, but the red wire here, it will not go inside the covers. So that's unfortunate, but I did find a workaround. So you've probably seen that I've got Industrialcraft typed in here because that's what I want to do today. I want to start the basic Industrialcraft machines. Like I said, I really don't have a use for the machines other than making the drill or a nano suit or solar panels or whatever this thing is. I don't know what it is. It looks expensive. It definitely is. So I figure what we can do is we can set the machines up over here. I'll make another crafting terminal, and probably today we'll make the basic machines and set them up. And there are a lot of new things in this version of Industrialcraft, one of which is the plate. Well, there's a dense plate. There's a regular plate. There's no more refined iron. We make plates out of things, and we make casings out of things. There's a machine called the metal former that it will make wires. It'll make these plates or these casings, and it will make the plates. But you can also make them with regular tools like the hammer, the wire cutters, whatever. So I figure for now, what I'll do is I'll just make a few hammers, a few sets of wire cutters, and there's, I don't know if there's a file here. I've been playing Greg Tech in my stream world, so I'm not really sure if that's just a Greg Tech thing or if it's a thing that IC2 has as well. So we actually have to make plates before we can make any of the other ones. So if we come over here, we've already got hammers in there. You can very easily make a hammer recipe and then make a recipe for the plates. So you don't actually have to automate anything machine-wise to make that kind of stuff. But which one of these is iron? I guess there is a refined iron plate as well. So there's a stack, a little over a stack, 3 stacks of plates. So if we need to make any of the other things, we can. The other thing I'm interested in, there are advanced machines like the singularity compressor, the induction furnace, stuff like that. But to get started, we're just going to need a few generators. I'm going to have to just start typing things. I don't know what anything looks like anymore. We'll go ahead and make 5 of them, though we're not going to be able to hook them all up at once yet. And I think we're going to have to make some batteries. So all the recipes here, they're a lot different than they were. So we've got to do tin plates, and then we have to hammer those plates out into the casing things. And I do want to automate all this later, but for now, we'll just do it in a crafting thing with the hammer. We'll go ahead and make a couple of those. I think that thing was called the file. Maybe not. So we'll definitely want to automate the batteries, circuits, stuff like that. Let's make 14 of those. And I forgot to go get a bunch of rubber before we started here. So hopefully that is not an issue for us. It is. I cooked it all up. I knew I forgot something. I'll go find some rubber. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got some rubber cooking. I'm going to have to either try to put these in the forestry farm or make a little MFR farm just to get some rubber trees, or make one of the rubber walls with the portal gun. So we'll just make 5 batteries for now. I think that'll get us done for the time being, or we'll just make 3. Not that big of a deal. I think we can only use 3 of these anyway. I probably actually should make a few more of these because it's not a bad idea to make a bat box. And see, we already went through all 3 of those hammers. I forgot how resource intense this was. I forgot how many of those I made already. I think we need 3 for the bat box. Let's double check. Yep. And if you notice, this insulated tin cable is now 32 EU per tick. The copper cable, I believe, is 128. Here it is. Yeah, 128. Insulated or uninsulated. Doesn't really matter. We're probably going to need some circuits now. And I forget what we need for that. That's actually copper cable. So we have to make a bunch of copper plates and cut them. So the metal former is probably, if you're going to make a machine, you probably ought to make a generator and a metal former first. Unless you don't already have an electric furnace. Just so you can cook everything, and or a macerator. So let's see what we need to make that. We may be able to make that right now. We still have to cut up cable and stuff and make a circuit. So let me make a bunch of oh, and it requires bronze. I forgot that. Let me make a bunch of these, a bunch of wires and stuff, and I'll be back, and we'll set up the metal former so we can see how the thing works and how we use it to make the other things we need. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so I think I've got everything squared away. I just made about a stack of everything. What I did to get the bronze, I put the tin and copper in the thermal expansion thing, the induction thing, I got back what's called a Tinker's Alloy ingot, but it works to make the plates just fine. If we hit U on it, you see we get a bronze plate from it. So that is a non-issue. So I've already made the toolboxes. The basic machine casing, it's kind of like the new machine block, I guess. That's an easy one. This stuff, pretty easy also. I mean, once you have everything cut. I'll just go ahead and turn all that into copper cable, and there are dark crafting recipes as well. I never really use those, but you can use them interchangeably. They're just fine. So we could do with a little more tin cable. We're out of rubber though, so we'll make do with what we've got for now. I would like to make a terminal. Apparently I don't have the recipe for the terminal in here. Alright, and I'm going to need a little more ME cable. Nope, I have it. Okay. So, like I said, the cable is already here. And what I think we'll do is, we're only going to hook up one of the generators for now. Where did they go? There's one. We'll put it right there. I don't know why. For some reason, I like to run my cable through the floor for these machines. There's really no reason for it. But honestly, it's a moot point right now, because since these machines are touching, the generator will give the metal former power either way. Doesn't really matter. So let's put our export bus on the back of the generator, and we'll just throw charcoal in it for now. Generators make 10 EU per tick. I think it says it if you mouse over it. Yeah, 10 EU. I think geothermals are still 20. The bat box will come into play a little later. So now we've got our metal former. We've got extruding mode, which I believe makes the wires. We've got rolling mode, which makes the plates. Cutting mode. Actually, let's just look at the recipes. Cutting mode makes cable. Extruding also makes cable. So I don't know why there are two different modes that essentially do the same thing, with the exception of making cells or whatever. But rolling will make the plates, and it will also make the casings. So what I will most likely do is I'll throw another export bus on top of there and an import bus on the side. I'll let it run with iron for a while, let it run with gold for a while, let it run with copper for a while, and then when I feel like I've got enough plates, then I can, make whatever else I need to make. I really need a lot more rubber to do this. That's going to be probably our biggest issue. So I've got 10 tin plates. Doing okay on all of them. I think we'll make some more tin plates right now and some more tin cable, which we actually have quite a lot of. So it won't let me put tin in there on cutting mode. I bet that's the difference. If you're on cutting mode, you can only cut plates. Extruding will take the ingots and turn them into wires. That's got to be the difference. And of course, we've got the hammer mode, which hammers out the plates. So Industrialcraft is a lot more involved crafting wise now. I'm gonna have to look up and see what the recycler actually, well, not what the recycler does, what the mass fabricator does now. I know there's liquid UU matter. I know there's a scanner and something else. I'm not really sure how they work. I'm going to do a little bit of reading because I want to get to that point pretty quick. But there are all kinds of new machines here. I think it's the scanner and the replicator are the two that you use with the UU matter. I do have iridium already that I found in a chest. So I believe the way it works is you scan the iridium and then you use the replicator to replicate it or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, we'll have to look into it. In addition to the ore washing plant and the metal former, not the metal former, the thermal centrifuge, I believe there's a way to triple your ores instead of just double them. So while we're at this, let's go ahead and make a macerator. Just because I think we have, I think we have the ingredients. And you don't get dust anymore. I think you get something else. See, we've got a rotary macerator as well. I really want to make that. Oh, what are you doing up here, dude? He doesn't belong up here. I don't want to die 2 episodes in a row. That would be terrible. I ought to just go ahead and make a few of these casings. I thought I did that already. Alright, so there's our macerator. It uses 2 EU per tick, 32 EU max, which means, as an example, if we put it on this line and we put 3 generators, it's going to be fine. Because the generators give 10 EU apiece. If we put a 4th generator on there and there's nothing else to draw the power, it's going to explode. The cable will also probably explode as soon as we hook that up. So let's see if we have any ore left in here. We had some tin a minute ago. We could try ferrous. I'm not really sure if it... Oh, I know where we have ore. Down at the laser drill. I knew I was saving that for something. Alright, so we've got a fair amount of iron, copper. Not very much yellowite. I'm kind of disappointed at the turnout of that. I know you can put a focus on there, but I'm really not concerned with it. I'd rather just, get what it gives me. So let's throw some iron in here. I think we get flakes or something like that. We'll see in just a moment. Okay, we get crushed iron ore. We got 2 of them. If we look at the uses for this, you can cook it into 1 ingot per. You can run it through the thermal centrifuge, which will give you an iron dust and a stone dust, tiny pile of gold apparently. The ore washing plant is the one I was thinking of. If you take the iron ore, you get 2 crushed ore. For every crushed ore, you get a purified ore, another stone dust, a tiny pile of iron dust. So if we do 2 of these, we'll end up with 1 iron dust total, because 4 of these equals 1 iron dust. And then we'll end up with 2 purified crushed iron ore. So you're essentially tripling your ores. So we may want to get something like that going, even if it's going to take a while. It will still give us more ores than just using the pulverizer and the powered furnace. Yeah, I think this will be a good endeavor. We'll have to do some automation with this stuff too. So again, we can either run it through the thermal centrifuge and get the bonuses like the pulverizer gives. I would rather just take this stuff through the ore washing plant, get all this stuff, and then we just smelt that. Or we can still thermal centrifuge it, get the bonus. I think that's a bit of an extra step though, because then we still have to cook up the dust somehow. So that's probably not the best course of action. So I think that is my time limit for this episode. I know we did not get a lot done, but that's how the new Industrialcraft is. It's a lot more steps in crafting, especially when you're just starting. So it's going to probably take a little longer until you learn the recipes. I sure don't have a handle on the recipes yet because I haven't really done that much of it. And as you can see, we're barely generating enough power to work both of these machines at once. So we'll probably end up moving these two and putting our generators somewhere and then putting the machines a little further away or up in the wall somewhere. I don't know. At any rate, that's going to do it for this episode. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, etc., please leave them down below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.